Hello from Istanbul. I'm Uğur. I'm doing my PhD in Koç University Arçelik Research Center for Creative Industries. And in this paper, we emphasize that there is another way to enrich social interaction while mitigating the effects of excessive smartphone use on social life. Smartphones ease our lives in many different aspects. However, excessive use of these devices has disadvantages, including joint pain, sleep disturbances, and depression. Smartphones also affect social interactions since people become less engaged with their immediate social environment due to smartphone use. Several studies show that people perceive the quality of their relationships as lower when people around them use their smartphones. Likewise, people feel more connected to each other and read each other's emotion better without smartphones. In order to avoid excessive use of smartphones, there are plenty of solutions available in the market, but most of them follow a restrictive approach. In the field of SIGCHI, it's also possible to encounter research on limiting strategy regarding excessive smartphone use. However, studies show that restricting the use of these devices is ineffective and backlashes. Under these circumstances, as suggested in several studies, the digital well-being interventions should move beyond a focus on restricting and showing screen time approach. That's why we wanted to aim at enriching the collocated interactions without limiting the use. And in our previous research, we explored the ways of enriching users' collocated interactions by following this bottom-up strategy and found 4 design approaches: supporters, compliers, enlighteners, and preservers. Preservers reduce the triggers that cause people to use their phones. Compliers provide users with smooth isolation from social interaction when they do not want to interact. Supporters improve the quality of conversations and help users avoid unexpected loss, and enlighteners raise awareness about the quality of social interaction. While designing Whisper, we were inspired by the enlighteners and the supporters because they are directly related to enriching the conversations and highlighted as the most promising approach to intervene in social interactions. Whisper is an interactive audio narrative box that consists of 3 parts: the magnetic main body with a Bluetooth speaker, a holder to contain tokens, and genre-imprinted magnetic story tokens. It aims to provide feedback regarding the quality of social interaction and to improve the quality of this interaction. It follows lulls in the conversation to decide when to intervene. When there is a long lull or when individuals start using their smartphones instead of interacting with each other, it starts an audio story to create a moment of curiosity, to take their attention from their smartphones and to open up a new conversation.
Asıl sen çok güvenme. Bak şu an daha şey geldi.
Öyle.
Sonuçta Sunan'ınki düz adam yani. Seninki absürt olan.
Bak şimdi hemen Selçuk Bey'e mesaj atıyorum. Takip alsın.
The box comes with tokens, which allows user to change the genre of the stories. Those are sci-fi, crime, fantasy, drama, comedy, and tragedy. Tokens are placed on the center point of the ripple pattern on top of Whisper's surface. The wavy surface was designed to create a resemblance with sound waves, and its high-fidelity prototype was created with 3D printers, which created a more finalized look as well as natural and cozy qualities while blending into a café environment. This is particularly important to create a realistic experience for the participants while not being too distractive. Our aim in this study was to explore how users perceive Whisper as a product that subtly measures people's social interaction quality and intervenes in their interactions and how it would influence their social interactions. A total of 10 sessions were conducted with the university students, and the sample consisted of 12 females and 9 males. 9 of the sessions were dyads and 1 was a triad. Overall, the participants indicated that the concept is a valuable tool to enhance the quality of their social interactions. After Whisper's every intervention, we observed an increase in participants' interactions. We also identified several issues that conflict with these positive reactions. These include whether silence can be used for measuring the quality of social interactions, whether Whisper is more effective in small or crowded groups, and whether Whisper's ambiguity affects positively or negatively. Since our goal with this study is not to validate our concept, but to examine behavior and reactions to interactive technologies designed to boost social interaction, we believe that these conflicting insights will be beneficial for designing such solutions. To illustrate this usefulness, we discussed the implications for our findings for both design research and practice. In the side of design implications, we concluded that design interventions aimed to enhance collocated social interactions should be respectful, adaptable, targeted, and have a balanced ambiguity. Artifacts that are designed to influence the behavior might become very persistent since they do not get tired, so they might disturb the user when it becomes too persistent. Although we designed Whisper as subtle as possible and based on users' everyday practices, some participants stated that they were uncomfortable with the Whisper's constant nudge during the lull moments. This implies that even a concept that subtly influences user behavior can backfire and create unintended effect. In order to prevent the disturbance from occurring, the artifacts should know how and when to give up. As we mentioned before, we designed Whisper in a way that does not reveal the meaning, reason, and timing of the interventions. This was preferred to ensure that users were affected by Whisper's presence as little as possible during their social interactions. However, the implicitness of the concept, including its design and intervention logic, was one of the points participants contradicted themselves. Some of the participants could not understand Whisper because of this ambiguity. There is also surprise effect since Whisper is an unusual product that offers completely different interactions. From this point of view, we can assume that Whisper may disappear or be ignored once the surprise effect wears off. Whisper should provide a balanced ambiguity in terms of its interventions and presence to prevent this. Hence, users can more involved in the backstage of the concept. In addition to that, the users gave feedback as they agreed that Whisper enhanced their social interaction, but the topics that Whisper offers vary across people. Therefore, they expect more topic-specific or personalized content, especially for longer, deep, ongoing conversations. All these show that it's essential to design adaptive systems that can instantly react to users' emotions, thoughts, and needs and is shaped for a specific social interaction. Unfortunately, the development of customized products raises many privacy problems along with advantages. Providing a meaningful, personalized experience to the user and keeping this experience consistent often requires collecting more user data. Although users admit that their personal devices, for example their smartphones, collect many data, as we have seen in our interviews, they do not prefer to use of this data by third-party technologies like Whisper. Lastly, Whisper aims to arouse users' curiosity by playing a pre-recorded narrative, as if they were hearing real conversations between other people in a cafe environment. Although we designed Whisper to trigger conversations subtly using this feature, some of the participants who understood the purpose perceived it as a warning about their conversation quality and felt bad about their relationships. To solve this issue, the nudge can be more subtle and target the individual rather than the group. In addition to this, Whisper might offer users different parts of the stories, expecting them to share the stories to enrich their social interaction. In this research, our aim was not to measure the quality of social interaction. However, we track the quality of social interaction between users by looking at the amount of the conversation. Previous work used self or observer reports. Using this kind of measurements might be problematic because of the subjectivity, credibility, and self-deception. Later, to create a more objective measurement method, the devices equipped with sensors start to be used to measure the quality of social interaction by looking distance, gaze, body position, and sound levels. Although these studies are valuable in measuring the quality of social interactions objectively, rather than being something that can be quantified and measured with scales, the quality of social interactions is considered as high or low according to the pleasure taken from the moment or the satisfaction felt after the interaction. Participants describe the silent moments as sometimes more valuable than those with conversations. So, investigating how the quality of social interactions as a phenomenon with such subjective elements could be observed, measured, and made sense of is worth exploring in the scope of future research. Lastly, in any research where there is a persuasion and technology, there are ethical concerns, because these interventions might cause frustration and have both intended and unintended results. Regardless of the increase or decrease in the social interaction that Whisper causes, it can create disturbance. This means that features of Whisper such as concealment of the aim and intervening without permission exceed two of the main elements to consider when designing persuasive technologies. In support of this, as we have seen in our interviews, these processes, which are beyond the control of the users, may cause the systems to have adverse effects on users or lose its effect. Literature has pointed out a projected unintended output is a matter of debate in ethics, and the creators of this persuasive technology should pay attention to this issue. Also, designers of this technology are the ones who should assume this responsibility, and such a reasonable forecast necessitates extensive user testing and creators' comprehensive forward thinking. In this paper, we presented Whisper, an artifact designed to enhance people's collocated social interactions in public places without restricting smartphone use, and a user study assessing users' reactions to it and its potential influence on social interactions. So we synthesized 4 design implications to guide designers. The technology is aimed at enhancing social interactions should be respectful to users' desire to have control over their interactions, adaptable to diverse user needs and preferences, targeted towards individuals rather than the group, and provide a balanced ambiguity to create surprise and curiosity without confusion. Furthermore, we provide 2 broad implications for HCI research: quantifying a subjective notion from users' lives, and the responsibility aspect of the persuasive technologies to intervene in the social interaction.